You're
Hello,
up.
everybody. I feel like we haven't done one of these in 6 months. Um,
I feel like we haven't done one of these since last week, but I feel like last week feels like 6 months ago.
you could say that this week feels like it's been a year for me. I will say that.
Yeah, I've been
Joe
a
just
busy
reminded
man.
me today that we have Saturday games, which is what we're recording. The
We
day
are,
we're recording
yes.
on.
It is approximately 8:59 on Saturday. I am going to scramble this shit together as soon as we are done recording and upload it. So, yeah. Similar to last week, we recorded our thoughts for what was going to be likely highly competitive Thursday night football game. Uh, what was going to be, Mike?
I didn't.
Going to,
I didn't think it would be.
well, we're gonna play our predictions now. Howdy, Joe here. Joe and Mike's podcast, Mike and Joe's podcast. Still not sure. Yep. So we're doing the same. I already explained it. I will take the Raiders in this win. Easton Stick is unproven. I don't think there's too much to say. I don't think it's gonna be like crazy, but I think the Raiders they've had more time with their rookie quarterback, and I got Raiders defense. So pray for me, Max Crosby. Please get a couple sacks. Yeah, things are just not working at all in the Chargers' favor, even more so than the Raiders. So I'm going with the Raiders.
Hello, everybody. Mike here from the Mike and Joe podcast. And today I will be discussing another terrible Thursday night football game between the Raiders and the Chargers. I think the Raiders are going to win. I'm not going to say a blowout because every time I say it's a blowout, it's never a blowout. But I definitely think that the Raiders, this is a game that they should win. Yeah, that's basically all I got. Excited to record the podcast with Joe whenever we do for this upcoming weekend. And yeah, peace.
All right, and now we're back. I mean, you think they were gonna win by that much?
No, of course. I didn't think they were going to put up 60 points, but I didn't think it was going to be a good game.
I mean, I thought it when you say good game, I didn't think it was gonna be like a good game where it's like, wow, I'm so invested, this is crazy. But I thought the score was gonna be like close. I mean, it's Aiden O'Connell versus Easton Stick. Like, it's not like either of these teams were significantly better on paper than the other team, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I didn't think that they were gonna put up 60 points, you
I
know.
don't know. They really could just like, give up a bunch, but did I come through a lot there? Or
Yeah, you froze for like a couple seconds.
I will if it didn't pick up, I said I took Raiders defense in my fantasy playoffs, and I was like, I don't know, I'm like a little nervous. The Chargers with a new quarterback. I don't know. I kind of feel like it's always been kind of a recipe when a new quarterback comes in, and they put up 25 points.
Yeah. Um,
But yeah.
yeah, so I guess we'll get started then with the Saturday games. We have Vikings versus Bengals.
I love, dude, and you're gonna notice this about all the Saturday games is all so there's three of them, all six teams playing in them. The stakes are high. They could miss the playoffs. They could, for one of them, they could get the first seed. Like that, all these teams have stakes. All these teams have playoff hopes, high playoff. So I'm pretty. I guess the Vikings maybe not high, but yeah, I'm definitely excited for this matchup to begin with. You got Nick Mullins versus Jake Browning. Uh, and I will definitely take the Vikings in this matchup. The wait, did I say Vikings? It is 901. I will definitely take the Bengals in this matchup. Uh, they've looked pretty convincing without their starting quarterback. And while the Vikings did the same, they no longer do. They're not even using Dobbs anymore. They're switching to the rookie, Nick Mullins. I think it's a very important game for both squads. I think the Bengals honestly feel like they can make a run without Burrow at this point. I think And that's not to say Burrow, like, isn't like, a huge piece for them because obviously, he's on the sideline helping Browning and all that stuff. While Deshaun Cosby has a suite for for himself. But yeah. And I think Jefferson is supposed to play. I know he got banged up again, but he should be in. But I'll have to take the Bengals on this. Also, Mixon's been going off.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bengals on this one, and it's more so because I actually think that um those few of those injuries that the Vikings have that players are going to be out with, I do think it's going to hurt them. Like I know that they have a running back, I think a wide receiver, and one of the offensive line. And I'm looking here now, and I mean Justin Jefferson is still questionable, but I'm sure he probably will play. But
He said he's expected to, yeah.
yeah, but still, I mean, I just think that the Vikings are. I mean, that's a decent amount of guys to be down, especially with those specific positions. And yeah, I mean, the Bengals have been playing cool. I mean, it's a good story with Jake Browning and everything. I get it. But I don't. It's not even necessarily that I have faith in the Bengals. I just don't think the Vikings have enough today. You know.
I didn't I didn't even realize that Madison was out for the Vikings. Yeah, that sucks. I'll definitely take the Bengals in that situation then.
Yeah, no, for sure.
All right.
Man, I was
Colt.
real quick. The Steelers Colts game. I saw the first thing I did because I have to hit a couple stores today for work, and the first thing I did was check because I saw the game was at 4:30. I was like, God, I was like, please don't be at Pittsburgh, like please, because I would have never
Oh,
got
yeah.
home. But it's in Indianapolis. Thank the Lord, because every bridge in the city would have been shut down. Thank God.
All 400 of them.
Yeah. Jesus.
City of Bridges, City of Love. You get the City of Brotherly Love on one side, the City of Bridges on the other. Of Pennsylvania, of course, that is. I'll take the Colts on this. Wait. Is Pickett still out, right?
Yeah, and they might not play Trubisky. They might end up playing what's his name. But a lot of people a lot of people like that third string quarterback the best.
Rudolph, Mason Rudolph.
Yeah. So I keep going because I know you started, but yeah, so Pickett's
Well,
definitely
I was just gonna say that I don't think if last week I thought going into it the Steelers offense couldn't put up much, I feel a lot more that way after watching them against the Patriots, who I understand have a good defense, but like I mean, Patriots are 3-10, so obviously people have found ways to get it done against the Patriots. The Steelers could not. They lost to the Cardinals and the Patriots 2 weeks in a row, two games they should have won. What are they, 7-6 now? They should honestly be 9-4 because they played two horrible teams.
Yeah, but they also won a lot
Um,
of games early on that they shouldn't have, that they had no business winning. So I guess
yeah, no, I agree, but that's why I meant more so based on the last 2 weeks. They should have got 2 wins off that. Like they were in such a position to like just take that second seed in the division and just were like, nah, Cleveland.
yeah.
But I'll take the Colts on this. I love the Gardner Minshew story, and well, Anthony Overratedson watches from the sidelines.
I think it's so weird, like the thing, whatever you have with that dude. Like,
People talk about him like he's like
just,
such a good, and
but like,
it's like, dude, let's
hold
watch
on.
him play. Let's watch him play
No,
first.
but hold on, like just because a couple people on Instagram talk that way about him, like it doesn't mean that you gotta like go so in on the guy like you've been going all year. Like
Dude,
it's not that big of a deal.
it
Not
was just,
everybody's saying that.
I know Nick Wright said that he would have drafted Anthony Richardson first overall.
Yeah, I mean that's his opinion from what he saw in college. That's what
Well,
you
therefore, it's not just Instagram.
no, but but what's wrong with people basing decisions? He's saying I would have picked him first based off of how I watched him play in college. What is wrong with that?
Yeah, I guess
You
you're
know what I
right
mean?
there.
But
I'm just saying that at this level, they're saying like, oh, well, he was the right choice, and it's like he hasn't played since week 5, and he only played one full week. How can you say he was the right choice when meanwhile Gardner Minshew, the backup, is getting it done and potentially leading them to the playoffs? You don't even need him. You don't even need him if you have Gardner Minshew. You don't even need him.
I mean, yeah, if that's your goal to just, try to, muscle your way into the playoffs, I guess. But anyways, I mean, you're acting like this guy's freaking leading them to freaking, what is going on? To the freaking championship. But anyways, I just want to say this real quick. Like, I think that Cardinals game destroyed, like, killed this anything the Steelers had momentum wise.
Mhm.
I think that I'm gonna go as far to say that I think that they might lose out the rest of this season. Think about it. Think about it. Right? They have the Colts today, right? Then they have the Bengals who are playing well. The Seahawks, who I know aren't playing the greatest, but they're still a pretty scary team. And then the Ravens. They could very easily lose out.
Wait, who was the third one?
Colts, Bengals, Seahawks, Ravens. They shot themselves in the foot losing these last 2 weeks. Like literally. Like they got away with so much luck in the beginning of the season, all for these 2 weeks against the Cardinals and the Patriots to just destroy it. And like
Yeah.
as an organization, I can't imagine how pissed off and angry they are about that. You know what I mean? Like, because
Yeah.
that's just unacceptable. But I mean, yeah. With that said, I think the
So,
Colts are
so,
gonna
so
win.
you think
Hold on. With that being said, like I like the Colts. I've liked them all year. I think they have a good team, and I just think it's not going to be that difficult to get it done. I still think there's a lot of rumors and speculation about TJ Watt too with his injury. It just feels like the mojo's kind of gone. So,
yeah. So you think Mike Tomlin's gonna have his I think first losing season in Pittsburgh.
well, he might. Well, yeah, it would be his first. It would be his first one. Either his first one or like his first one in like God knows how many years. But
Yeah, I know it. I know it. I know it's been forever at the very least. I just wasn't sure if it happened like forever ago. Oh, Jonathan Taylor's out. I didn't even know that. Okay,
yeah,
you useful information, but still, I still see them getting it done just because I think it'll be lower scoring with Jonathan Taylor out. But all right, Broncos Lions. This is so interesting. One team who's been red hot, one team who started the year red hot. Both of them, definitely the Lions, looking to make an impact in the playoffs. Um, I'm gonna ride. Both of them did lose last week, but without that loss, the Broncos were on a 5-game winning streak. So I am gonna go with the hot hand here and say the Broncos. The Lions have looked shaky ever since Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving still fucking over the Lions. All this time, always. Um, but yeah, no, the Lions have looked horrible lately. It's very unfortunate. I want to see them do well, but I'm gonna have to go with the Broncos this week.
um,
Tricky one, right?
it is because on one end, like it sounds crazy to be like, oh, the Lions are struggling and they're 9-4, but they are. It's a very weird sort of
Because they
dynamic.
lost 2 of their last 3. It's like saying the Chiefs are struggling and look at their record.
I know. I'm saying you're right. Like that's what I'm saying. It's crazy to think. Like, because when you look on the sheet of paper, they're 9-4. The Niners are 10-3. Everybody else, they're one game out of first place still. So it's just crazy when you think about like, man, like they could have ran away with the conference really. Because for a while there it was looking like the Eagles were going to run away with it, and then they're all of a sudden looking destructible. Now you got it. Just seems like a lot of people are falling apart. Which, by the way, team that's on a roll right now, baby, Dallas Cowboys. But anyways, we'll get to that. But I think with that being said, I think the Lions are going to win. But I still, and I think you agree with this, I still think there's a world where they win this game, but they still look like they're struggling. I mean, they had
Yeah.
one, I forget who they played when they won at the end.
Bears.
The Bear, yeah, yeah, where it was like, yeah, they won, but it was like I'm
It
still
didn't feel.
concerned. I'm still concerned.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that they're gonna like turn over like a new leaf tomorrow, but I think
Mhm.
they're gonna crawl out with a win. And at this point, I guess that's all that matters. But I still
Mm.
it's still looking like they could be a one and done team in the playoffs. It really is.
I could see like their running game going off tomorrow. Like they honestly probably have the best 1 and 2 running backs in the entire league with Gibbs and Montgomery. Like how crazy is that? I mean, I'd say it's better than Swift and Gainwell. I would. I think Montgomery and it's so unfortunate. I have Montgomery in fantasy. It's so unfortunate. It feels like they use Gibbs to get down the field, and then they get to the 1 yard line and just throw Montgomery in there for the touchdown.
Right.
So I feel like that's what's gonna happen. But so by no means do I think like the Lions are gonna go out there and like get blown out by the Broncos. I guess I should say, but I think it'll be an entertaining game because I didn't, dude. If you told me, I'd say this 5 weeks into the year. It's two at this point equally matched teams in my opinion. I think on paper though you got a much more talented Lions team. Um, I mean, I couldn't other than like Russell Wilson who's been playing extremely well. I couldn't tell you like
Wait,
who's been like balling out for the Broncos. Other than that one running back, that one running back's doing really good for them. What?
that game's tonight?
Yes.
There's three. I thought there were only two games today. There's
Yes.
three.
Night game. That's what. Remember I said 3 games, all 6 teams have playoff admirations.
I hate that
Why?
because the NFL is slowly like gonna start having an NFL game on every day. And I think that, and me and you spoke about this before. I think that's terrible. It's a terrible idea. People love the
Well,
fact that one day out of the week you get to watch football. It's taking
well, you know why they're doing it though.
why?
I'm pretty sure they're doing it because Christmas. So I think they're gonna do the same thing next weekend and the weekend after to break up games from being on New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve, which I like because I am doing other things on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So there's less to focus on when it comes to football. So I actually very much enjoy this. It also could just be because buys are done and there'd be like 9 to 10 games on instead of like 7, 8 in the 1 o'clock window. So it could be that as well.
Okay, no, no.
Um,
Okay, but I more so brought it up to. I'm not saying whatever the reason they do it for now is fine. But my point is they have made it a point to say that they want to start expanding from the traditional Sunday, Monday, and Thursday. And I think that's a terrible idea.
right.
But like football is meant to basically be played on Sundays. That's just how it always has been. Why? I mean, I know
50
why they want to
years.
change it. I know why they want to change it, but like still, I wish they had a Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve game this year, but I digress. Um,
What?
I said I wish that they had Christmas Eve games and New Year's Eve games this year.
They do. They have plenty.
I thought you just said they didn't.
They spread them out, so there's not as many on at once.
Oh,
I
because
think
they're
it's
on.
gonna be like this one.
Because they're on Sundays.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
the Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve are Sundays, so I think they're bringing some of those Sunday games to Saturday. So like, it's not like on
But
top
nobody,
of family get-togethers, you got 10 football games on at one.
yeah, but New Year's Eve is like amateur night, where all like the people like go out at night. Like it ain't gonna affect the 1 o'clock sleeps.
I know. That's why. I mean, there's some people who throw parties for New Year's Eve, and they gotta prepare for the party. I don't know. We can talk about Jacob's hair later. Let's go into that was a good one, Mr. Leahy. Um, dude, Giants Saints. Hey, guess who's becoming relevant again? Hey.
Yeah, it's so excruciating seeing all the fake Italians from New Jersey try to act Italian whenever they get the chance. It just will always
Hey,
piss.
you don't talk to us like that. That being said, and without getting any more cringy, uh, Giants are on a roll. I'll take the Giants in this. dude, what are you talking about? They won 3 straight. They won 3 straight. Saints like lost like 3 straight, probably. I didn't don't
I'm
quote me
not.
on that.
I'm not. I'm with you. I think the Giants can win this game. You know, I'm not a big fan of the Saints, but to say they're on a roll,
3 games straight, you wouldn't say that's a roll?
okay. I guess you're right.
I mean, it's not like they beat like the Cardinals, the Patriots, and the Panthers. They beat the Packers last week, who
Yes,
Packers, I
yes.
would say they
Actually,
were on a roll. They just
hold
beat the
on, hold on,
Chiefs.
hold on. Yes, they beat the Packers, but then they beat the Patriots and Commanders. So like, it's not like and the 2 games before that, blown out to the Cowboys and blown out to the Raiders, and the game before that, they lost to the Jets.
Please tell me you're looking at the schedule right now and you
Yes,
didn't just
yeah.
you didn't just memorize what
Yeah.
the Giants have been up to.
I'm just saying, like you're right. Technically, they're on a roll, but it's
Yeah.
like, come on. But yeah, I don't need to spend too much time on this. I'll take the Giants, but I don't care. It's so stupid of them. Like
Have you seen Tommy DeVito's agent?
I've seen it all, unfortunately.
He
You know,
looks
and
like a mob boss.
I don't want to speak about it. It's
He's
annoying.
like, hey, how about I give my boy a little more kashisha here?
Let's move on.
All right, Bears Browns. Bears have been looking kind of nice lately. But I don't
People
know how nice they're gonna look against the Browns defense. Flacco, man, I love to see it. I love to see Flacco doing well because Flacco, in his prime was what, like '09 and like in that era, and I wasn't watching like, crazy amounts of football back then. Obviously, I know the name, I know his accolades, but I never really watched him get it done. And it's kind of cool to watch like, him get it done. So I'm big on the Flacco train. I'd like to see him add on to his legacy. Not saying I want to see him win like a Super Bowl or anything, but like, it'd be interesting to see if they make a run in the playoffs. So
that's
I'll take the Browns in this one.
that's why remember a couple weeks ago when I didn't know that Flacco was going to be playing, like when you said his name, I was like Joe Flacco. I was like, what? Like Joe Flacco?
He's back.
Literally, but yeah, I to me it's even cooler kind of resurgence to see, because it's like seeing someone from like my childhood like all of a sudden like come back. It's like CM Punk coming back, returning. You know what I mean? Like that's.
Did I tell you I was at that event?
Oh really? That's pretty cool.
It was in Providence. Yeah, it was at the Dunk, and Connor invited me at last minute.
Yeah, that was my favorite. That was one of my favorite wrestlers growing up. But anyways,
Cult of personality.
like yeah, I don't know. Like I do think that part is cool, and then you also have the part of like all like the NFL analysts are like talking about like the Bears are officially a problem, and I'm like, they're still in last place in a bad division. Like, so like, yeah, I get it. They've been looking good lately, but I mean, the damage is done on that. I don't think there's any chance that they have to get into the playoffs.
Of course not. No.
Yeah, but people are acting like it is, and I that part I just don't understand. But then there's another world where I'm like, wow, like are the Browns really about to be 9-5? Like
well, let me ask you a question, and this is leading somewhere, so just say yes or no. Do you think that the Bears are kind of figuring it out and at least getting significantly better than they were
a little
at the
bit
beginning
better.
of the year?
Yeah, a little bit better.
Well, don't forget they have the #1 overall pick right now. So whether or not they decide to use that pick or trade it for better, I mean, look what they got for the #1 pick last year. They got DJ Moore, and he's been definitely their best receiver, hands down. I think the Bears are trying to piece something together here. And don't forget, they were without Khalil Herbert, their best running back, for weeks.
No, but I never said they weren't. I'm not talking about next season. I'm talking about this season. Like I'm not saying that they're not putting they're putting themselves in a great position. I'm saying that people are talking. NFL analysts are saying out of their mouth that this season they think the Bears are going to push for a playoff run, and I don't. That's what I'm saying. Like there's no possibility of that.
I just thought you had misinterpreted. Like the Bears are becoming a future problem for the NFL. You mean this
They
year?
are.
Yeah, no, okay,
No,
no way in hell.
they're putting themselves in a great position for sure. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that much, but I'm gonna go with the Bengals. I mean, not the Bengals, the Browns, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, dude, that's gonna be rough if you're right about that one because Bengals and Browns W's and Steelers L. Oof, that's a rough week, but
Well, I mean,
yeah, and
I've
honestly, at
already
this point, man, there's
wait. I already think they're gonna lose out the Steelers, so I've already
I know I'm just saying any hope of like playoff like because you guys that whole division was like ahead of the grain. Now the Bills have caught up. You got two teams in the South that have caught up, same exact record. You're in and the Broncos caught up. Who had that?
we're gonna
You are
talk.
in a
We're
much
gonna.
tougher position, my friend, than you were 2-3 weeks ago.
I mean, yeah, when you lose to two teams that suck, yeah, but
It
also
wasn't
too.
even that. It wasn't even that. I
I
mean,
mean,
that didn't help, but
it was
you
that,
just have the same record as so many other better teams right now.
but it was that. That is.
Yeah, that led to. I just, I'm just saying because so many teams have your record, and now yes, it is the loss to the Patriots and the Cardinals that got them to that record. But I'm just saying they could have lost to like the Chiefs and like the Eagles, and they're still in a rougher position than they were a couple weeks ago, just because it was so. You were ahead. You were ahead of the Broncos. You were ahead of the Bengals. But the Bengals lost Burrow. They seem to be out of it. Every these other teams that have recently gotten hopes to be in the playoffs have basically eliminated any hope of the Steelers having a clean run to the playoffs. So not only is it because you guys lost those games, it's because of how these other teams are heating up, like the Colts, the Broncos, and the Bengals.
Yeah,
It's
I
rough.
still Bills still questionable, but yeah, we'll get to that.
Speaking of playoff hopes, we got the the Panthers and the Falcons. Dude, I heard some sports analysts say that this is the Falcons game to lose. And I was like, dude, that's exactly what I said when they played the Cardinals and they did lose. But ah, I don't even think the Falcons are bad enough to lose to the Panthers and the Cardinals in the same season. So I'm gonna go with the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Want
go.
to take care of that?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Falcons.
Next up is the Buccaneers and the Packers. A great matchup in my opinion. Two teams that are making a playoff push. I don't think either of them plan on doing real damage in the playoffs, but it's signs of things going in the right direction for both organizations. They both just lost Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Like you can't lose two more significant players, and they're both trying out for a playoff spot. So I think making a playoff spot after losing those players would be incredible for both of these squads. So this is, in my opinion, a very important matchup. What say you, Michael?
Um, I mean, yeah, I guess it's an important matchup. I mean, it's really not, but it is. I get what you're saying. For those teams, for those organizations, like you're right, like that would, I think it would mean more for the Bucks personally.
I like Baker. I've always liked Baker, so it would mean a lot for Baker.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bucks. I like the
Mhm.
Bucks. I think that the Packers are just, I mean, again, we're dealing with two inconsistent teams here. I get that, but the Packers
Yeah.
you just don't know what you're gonna get from the Packers, and I feel like very rarely do you get a complete game from them.
Yeah.
So with that, because of that, I like the Bucks.
So yeah, I'll also take actually wait, no. Because I was gonna take the Bucks and then I changed my mind while you were talking. Because I just feel like it's gonna be I see Packers Saints game written all over this. I think the Bucks are gonna have this one in the bag, and Jordan Love's just gonna because he hasn't had a fourth quarter like whoa in like in a few weeks, and that's kind of what he's been known to do. So I think he's gonna get back to that this week. I think I'd like the Buccaneers to win more because, like I said, I'm a big Baker guy, and I definitely see both sides playing well, but I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be a classic Jordan Love bringing the Packers back into it in the fourth quarter kind of deal.
God,
Um,
three out of these
but
next
I wouldn't be surprised if the Buccaneers win. I think they're the better team.
three out of these next four games are brutal.
All right. All right, Jets, Patriots, Titans, Cardinals are all winning. No, I'm kidding. I gotta take the upside on one of them. I'll figure out which one though. There's no way. Um, Jets and Dolphins. I really wish I had the budget to afford trumpeters so I could bring in trumpeters because I really think that Tyreek is now an MVP candidate. Oh my God, dude, did you see how bad they were without Tyreek?
What don't you understand? It's
What?
not gonna happen.
Dude, if he breaks the all-time wide receiver record, dude, that means you know what that means? That means he has had the best season of a wide receiver ever. Wide receivers have won MVP before. I can almost guarantee they have won it. And this is a year where, like they always say, no one is running away with this damn thing. So it's not like, oh, like Tyreek had the most receiving yards ever, but like that was the year Mahomes went off. No, no one is going off. Every team has at least 3 losses, which a team loss is a QB loss when it comes to MVP candidacy. So Tyreek has a real chance. Non-quarterbacks this year more than ever lately.
Stop.
Thumbnail.
A wide receiver has never won the MVP
Never mind.
ever.
Okay, but yeah, but then who did? Adrian Peterson won it. He's a running back.
A
I
running
understand
back
he's a
in,
running back,
in like
but
2009. Yeah.
I know. I'm just saying no one's running away with it this year. I make a look. I'm not saying they're gonna pick Tyreek. I'm not saying he's the favorite. I'm telling you, I would love to see it. And if I was in the voting, I obviously, I'm not. But like, if it was me up there, I would be strongly. I'd say him and Dak Prescott right now are the top two. Him and Dak. But obviously, I'm not
Yeah.
there. So,
I'm not saying you're wrong in that, but I'm just telling you it's just not gonna happen.
and I'll go so far to say that if Tyreek does not play Sunday, I'll take the Jets. I will go so far to say that.
Why are you
And
trying
look,
to be edgy, man? Like, come on.
let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. They did not do anything to the Titans defense, right? They couldn't like first things first saying they couldn't even get a real touchdown. They didn't even lead it down the field. All their touchdowns was either a defensive touchdown or based off of a turnover or short field against the Titans. The one thing that the Jets have going for them is they have a great defense. So they're if they don't have Tyreek Hill, we saw what the Dolphins look like without Tyreek Hill against the Titans defense. Now they got to play against the Jets defense, potentially without Tyreek Hill. If he's in, sure, I'll take the Dolphins. I'm not that crazy, but I am a little crazy. I will take the Jets if Tyreek doesn't play.
Okay. Yeah, I'm taking the Dolphins.
I mean, there's gonna be one. It's not like every team who's favored is gonna win this week. We've taken the favorite seemingly every single one.
Okay, but these three games aren't the ones where it's gonna happen. So let's continue.
And when I say when I say what I'm about to say, do know that I don't agree. But I do hear a lot of people saying the Patriots are going to beat the Chiefs. I strongly disagree with this statement. But it's not like people are treating this the way that you and I are probably going to treat this. Chiefs have lost 3 of their last 4, yes. And I think you'll be glad to know that I'm in the same boat as you, where that only helps the Chiefs and gives them more of a reason to pull this off. They are going to demolish the New England Patriots. I don't give a shit how good our defense is. Mahomes and Kelsey's going to have a 150 receiving game because he's the only one Mahomes can trust with the damn ball. I know Pacheco was still out. I did not know that he had a back issue. That's one of the worst issues I feel like you could have in football. Honestly, even arguably even worse than an ACL because you come back from an ACL. Some people don't come back from backs.
Yeah, I mean, a back injury is just one of the worst injuries you could have. Period. It's just in life. Like, I mean, once your back goes, you're forever gonna have back issues. It's a bitch.
Yeah, I hope Pacheco comes back because I mean I don't want the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, but I do, like to see full rosters play. So I do hope Pacheco comes back very soon, genuinely. But Yeah, the Patriots aren't gonna do dick.
I actually don't think it's gonna be like a blowout by any stretch. Like I could see it being like a 17-9 type of game. I think the Chiefs are gonna win, but I'll tell you what, like I don't think it's gonna be like a massacre. I mean, yeah, it could be, but I don't think this is gonna be the game that I think on Monday all the sports shows. I think the Chiefs are gonna win, but they're still gonna be like the Chiefs still didn't look like the Chiefs. That's kind of what I predict is gonna happen. But yeah, I think they squeeze out a win.
I mean, I definitely disagree with that because I feel like it's been long enough where they haven't looked like the Chiefs, right? They haven't looked like the Chiefs for like the past 4 weeks, and like there's just got to be a time where they turn around. There was like some stat that I saw where it's like the Chiefs always have like some weird slump in the middle or near the end of the season, and it feels like we're getting that slump right now. Oh, let me correct myself. We're definitely getting that slump right now. There's no reason that they shouldn't blow out the Patriots
But
tomorrow.
I mean, yeah, look, the Patriots have gotten blown out a couple times this season, but like I just they don't it doesn't strike me as like a team that's gonna just get freaking ran over by the Chiefs tomorrow. I don't know.
It's the Chiefs. I mean, and like I just said, I understand they haven't looked like the Chiefs, but I don't think they're gonna keep go. I think that time is about to end. Like they haven't looked like the Chiefs in the last 4 weeks. I don't think it's gonna go on much longer than that. They're gonna come back.
We'll see.
Yeah, I would have predicted it to only go like 3 weeks. If for a slump for the Chiefs, it's already been four. They're coming out of it soon for sure. Um, Texans Titans. I guess I'm gonna have to look at their injury report to see CJ Stroud. He has a concussion or had, hopefully. Um, and their receivers, because what's his head got hurt too. Um, CJ Stroud is doubtful. Nico Collins is questionable. Will Anderson Jr. is out. Noah Brown is questionable. Mm, that I think that's a little too much. I'll take the Titans on this. I think with a couple of those names, even just CJ Stroud, but you're missing CJ Stroud and like arguably the top four receivers. They got nothing going on there. It's literally gonna be just blocking the run for the Titans. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
that it's I hate to say it too because I would love to see the Texans do something. I'm hoping they'll be. I don't have I'm not concerned that they're going to stay this banged up. It just kind of seems like everything happened in 1 week, minus obviously Tank Dell a couple weeks ago. Um, but I think that it sounds like these guys would probably be back next week, especially with a concussion. 2 weeks is usually enough time to recover from something like that. But this week is just not their week when it comes to injuries. So I'll take the Titans.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Injuries. That's the main
Yeah.
reason.
But when you said the next three games are asked, I didn't realize that the Texans were so banged up. I was going to take them. Did you?
No, I didn't even say the next three because I didn't think about that. I said the next three out of four.
Oh, because yep. Um, not too much to say here. The 49ers are probably going to beat the Cardinals. Um, yeah, I think I've glazed Kyler Murray enough. I don't have to do it now. I think we can definitely move on.
That's yeah,
Are you
49.
gonna do it? Are you gonna do it?
Am I gonna do what?
Commanders, Rams. Who are you taking?
I'll take the Rams.
And yes, I know
But hold on though. Hold on though. This ain't like what do like the Commanders could also easily win this game. Like it's not like it's
I
like
know. I was gonna say. I understand the Commanders as horrible the teams that they lost to. I do understand that
well
they put up
well
fights against good teams.
well hold on. Yes, they put up fights against good teams. The Rams aren't a good team, so I don't see any scenario where they win. So that's my theory. I think the Rams pull away with a win there.
Fueling my fire. Keep fueling Matt Stafford's fire. Let's see where that gets you. Dude,
The thing
The
about
Rams are
me,
making the playoffs.
the,
Rams are making the playoffs.
the thing about me, I don't care if I'm wrong. I'll die on the hill. I don't give a shit.
The podcast would be more interesting if you do.
Probably, but it's like Dennis texting me with fantasy. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, realistically though, I think the Rams win. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got on it.
Remember this conversation. Audience. Bills and Cowboys. Oh my dude. We are ending this week strong. We got two, potentially three great matchups. Bills and Cowboys is the first one. I'll take the Cowboys in this matchup. Um, I know. Okay, hold on. Actually, I was gonna say they haven't been that good on the road, but they have been. It's just how well they've been at home that I felt that way. Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to say like the Bills should have lost that game against the Chiefs or anything of that sort. They definitely didn't look damn near halfway decent in the second half of the game. Um, but good for them. I'm happy that they won that game. I was pulling for them, obviously. Um, but you're right. The Cowboys have been impressive this year, a lot more impressive than the last few years. We'll see if we get that same ending. If they get eliminated second round, then they're just the Sixers with that curse at this point this year. But I'll take the Cowboys to win this one. They've been I was gonna say just as hot as the Bills won one game, but or maybe two. Yeah, no, I guess there's not much else to say. Their defense is gonna gobble up Josh Allen. Cowboys.
Um, yeah, I think the Cowboys are gonna win, but I want to talk about last week's game real quick because, do you understand now why like you were saying to me? I'm speaking on the call right now. You were saying to
Which
me
game?
the Bills Chiefs, the call. I mean, what other call? Um,
I thought you might have meant the Eagles
no,
Cowboys.
but that call, you were saying how like it was so obviously offsides. And my thing was, and the Chiefs thing was too, none of them were denying that.
Wildest fucking call I've ever seen.
It was the fact. What'd you say?
Wildest fucking call I've ever seen. That's what Mahomes said to Allen when he's just trying to shake the guy's hand.
Okay, but you're not under. See, this is okay. You can do that, right? Whatever. But it's the fact that that call never gets called ever. It's a call that they never call, or they let.
Josh Allen just trying to
Like
shake his
you
hand.
can joke your way out of this, but do you not like understand a little bit now more? Like they're not saying that he wasn't offsides.
Well, look. I think that's what they're saying now. So
No,
in the
they were
moment,
saying-
in the moment, look, in the moment, emotional. I understand. I think they were saying it's the wildest call they ever seen. And this is what I have to say. If they had come out to that press conference and say, "Hey, like every time that we do that, they say they warn us before the flag is thrown, or they blow the play dead," which is what happens. Neither of those things happened, and it's hard to say they got screwed on the call because it was the right call. I don't think anyone would have been as upset about it if it wasn't such an incredible play. Even if it was a touchdown throw, I don't think anyone would be as upset. They would be upset. Don't get me wrong. But, like, I don't think they got screwed on it because unlike a lot of the calls that go the Chiefs' way, it was undoubtedly the right call.
But I agree. I agree with that. I don't think they got screwed. You know me. I think, but I was just arguing with you that I was like, they're not delusional. Like they're not saying that wasn't offsides. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that was their issue. Now, I mean, yeah, that was the only time that I might have been pissed off about a call because that's just like, bro, like I don't want to say they should have won that game, but I mean, dude, you thought that Mahomes. I would have been so upset just at the situation, like because it's like God, that just sucks, But yeah, man, I don't know. I think a lot. It could have been worse. He could have chased a ref into the locker room, but
Yeah. I mean,
digress.
I didn't think that's where you were going. Let's talk about something that's not the refs, and that is I cannot believe how underrated CeeDee Lamb is. They're talking about CeeDee Lamb maybe cracking the top 5 receivers in the league. Bro, what the hell are you talking about? They're saying like Jefferson. Bro, Jefferson hasn't like been in technically. Oh yeah, he played last week. But he hasn't actually played since like week 5. CeeDee Lamb, I don't even need to see the numbers. I do not need to see the numbers. Every time that they show like a grab that this man makes, a catch that he makes, it's just the wildest shit. You could throw to this guy in triple cover. If you asked me to pick one receiver in the entire league to throw to in double coverage and like expect them like to get the ball, it would be CeeDee Lamb. It would not be Jamar Chase. It would not be Tyreek Hill. It would be because Tyreek Hill gets the ball and he runs. He's very good at like running routes and like speed, the cheetah, and like getting open and all that stuff. CeeDee Lamb can just make the most ridiculous grabs like ever. They're like, yeah, like the top 4 receivers in the league, obviously AJ Brown. I'm like, I think CeeDee Lamb is better than AJ Brown. What are you talking about? I think CeeDee Lamb's extremely underrated. And I didn't think that it was that way. I thought he was kind of unanimously like one of the best receivers in the league. People are like, oh, maybe he is. I'm like, no, he definitely is. He's amazing. Love CeeDee Lamb. And I hope that he does well because I thought he was one of those guys that like, unanimously was just great to everyone. And I am learning that he is.
I
So I hope he solidifies himself as
I have to take your word for it because you know me, I'm not too well versed in the individuals in the NFL. So
friggin' I'll be watching Red Zone and I'll be like, like shit'll be happening. And then it'll like cut to the Cowboys and I'll be like, oh, what did the Cowboys do? And it'll be like, oh, by the way, this catch from CeeDee Lamb. It'll be like the Odell like catch for the Giants. And I'll be like, oh my God. Every time it cuts to the Cowboys offense, it's just CeeDee Lamb doing some like unhuman shit. And I love it. I love CeeDee Lamb. Love to see it.
do you love CeeDee Lamb?
We do. I
You've said it like 100 million
Uh,
times.
but moving on. Jaguars, Ravens, that's so tough. So tough for the Jags. I'll take them though. I think the Ravens are the better squad, but as we've seen for every single team this year, you cannot keep rolling forever. You're gonna lose one. If you're gonna play 10 games and win 9 of them, the loss is gonna come right in the middle because there's no real big long stretches of wins this year. It's like 5, I think maybe 6 maximum. So the Ravens, I think they have a really tough schedule. They have the Jaguars and the 49ers. I might take the 49ers to beat them as well unless they lose this week. I don't know. But I think the Jaguars lost 2 straight. They're feeling really down on themselves right now, but they're one of those teams that knows how to bounce back. Um, I really hope that this is a great game because it on paper should be. It's one of those rare instances where it's a um late season game and the starters are still in for both squads because you remember we were talking about the Bengals Ravens what could have been. No, wait, no, I'm sorry. The Bengals
Jaguars.
Jaguars. Yeah, okay. So the Jaguars are still involved. Was that Trevor got hurt? Or he got hurt versus the Texans. Never mind. Wait, no, he got hurt versus the Bengals. He got hurt versus the Bengals. I remember I saw Joe Burrow on the sideline.
Okay.
But I'll take the I think last thing I'll say is I do think the Ravens are a better team, and I am out to call this an upset win. I full disclosure, but I'll take the Jaguars for the upset win.
Um, I don't know if the Jags are gonna be underdogs. But struggling here because like I like the Jaguars more. Like I think the Jaguars will go deeper, way deeper in the playoffs because the Ravens just always collapse in the playoffs. Um,
Says the guy who's saying the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. They have the same record as the Cowboys. And the Cowboys are more notorious for blowing it in the playoffs, even though both of them do it. I, I definitely have the Ravens going further in the playoffs if they make it.
yeah, and that and
Their
that's and
defense is
that's
their defense is extraordinarily better. Their quarterback, I think, is better,
can I can
more
I
experienced as well.
can I talk?
No.
That's why clearly. That's why it's called a prediction. Like I predict that the Cowboys are going to get over the hump this year. It's a prediction. I don't think the Ravens are gonna. So that's my opinion. But yeah, the Ravens are a good team, and that's why I'm going to pick them to beat the Jaguars. Like I'm not like I don't know. That was a weird thing that you just brought up, like that. Oh, the Ravens and the Cowboys will 10-3. I'm like, okay, like yeah, I'm not saying the Ravens are a bad team. I just think that the Jaguars are going to perform better in the playoffs. However, I think the Ravens are going to win this game. I still think that Lawrence is a little banged up. I think that the Jaguars, I don't know how much into it the Jaguars are going to be in this game because now that the Texans are kind of looking like not the greatest, the Colts, even though we have them winning today, they could easily lose and slip up. So it's like the Jaguars, they might have a little bit of room of like cushion to like mess up and like not
Yeah.
saying that they're going to treat it that way, but subconsciously, they're not going to have two other. They might by the time they play this game, they might not have those two teams riding them like they have been for the last few weeks. So
Right. Good take. Good take.
I just kind of question how invested they are going to be in this game. And I think the Ravens are. I think the Ravens are going to keep rolling, for the time being. That's why I'm saying like you're right. A team can't roll forever, which is why I think like the Cowboys are hitting the perfect stride right now. I think the Ravens are rolling and rolling. I think once they get to the playoffs, it's when it's unfortunately going to stop them.
Well, I think here's the thing, and I for a second agreed with you, and now I realize I disagree with you. The Jaguars should be invested in this game because if they win this game, they'll be one win behind the current one seed for the division. Wait. Sorry, hold on, let me correct myself and finish my statement. One seed in the conference. They'll be one game behind the Ravens, so they have the tiebreaker, and the Ravens have a much harder schedule than the Jaguars. So the Jaguars could see it, and I'm not saying they're going to do it, but they could and should see it as an opportunity to try to go after a one seed for the conference. It's still very much in the realm of possibilities for them to get that one seed.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and I thought about that too, but I don't know if they think that. I mean, of course, like how I'm saying it right now, like of course they're not thinking about it like that, right? You know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
it's just something in their mind where at least they're like, oh man, like wow, we finally got those two teams off of our back. Like, yeah, they want to get the one seed too, but it's like there's some level of them being more comfortable that I think is going to hurt them. So I mean, that's all.
Now injuries aside, I just looked at the Jaguars schedule and spoiler alert for next couple weeks. Oh no, I'm taking them every single week, injuries aside.
Mhm.
The Ravens have the 49ers, the Dolphins, and I guess they have the Steelers, but it's no argument who has the easier schedule from here on out. I I think the Jaguars could definitely still get the one seed in their conference, and I understand what you're saying. They're not going into the game like thinking like, oh well, they lost, so we don't have to try. Yeah, you're saying like subconsciously. No, I think subconsciously they're gonna be like, we can get the tiebreaker for the number one seed in the conference, get a first round bye, rest Trevor, who's obviously still feeling, or I think probably still feeling that injury, rest everybody. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be insane. That one season this year is more important than ever because they have an extra game in the regular season. So I think they're gonna be fighting for it, and I think they
Yeah,
should be fighting for it.
I hope you're right. You
I
know,
mean, I want the Ravens to win because I like them. I want them to make it far.
I
But
don't.
also I want just, the Chiefs to kind of be out of it. But that goes without saying. I think you knew that. I think everyone knew that. I
So
think
weird.
people I haven't met knew that.
So weird.
All right. Final game, Eagles, Seahawks. Not much to say. Seahawks are a team that can put it together any given week. But they haven't seemed to do that as many weeks this year as we predicted or as they did last year. So I'll go with the Eagles. It's not one of those things where it's like I'd be super duper shocked to see like the Seahawks put up a decent fight or even like freak out with a win. I'd be shocked at a blowout. Especially the fact that the Eagles have kind of like, the last couple of weeks. Um, but I'll take the Eagles in this. They lost 2 straight. I'd be a little surprised if they lost 3 straight in a blowout.
I'm taking the Seahawks. I think the
Ooh.
Seahawks are really pushing because I look at the coaching staff, right? Like that coaching staff has been around for, or just that organization in general has seen a lot of success in winning. They know what it takes to get to the playoffs. If they can win this game, their next 3 games are the Titans, Steelers, and Cardinals. So if they can like somehow win this game, like they're like they're looking at it as like, and obviously like this is tough. I get it. They're playing the Eagles, right? And I don't even think this has anything to do with the Eagles per se. Like I still think the Eagles will be fine, but I think they're looking at it from a standpoint like, man, like this is by far the most important game of our season right now. And
Yeah, it is.
as much as the Eagles want to get on track and they're still very much alive for the 1 seed, I
Mhm.
it doesn't mean as much as it means for the Seahawks. And
Yeah,
I just think the Seahawks, man, like if they execute, they do what they got to do. And plus now, I also think it's no secret. Like we're seeing what can beat the Eagles. Like people are starting to run on them now more. Like they're losing for a reason. Like because
yeah,
people are starting to figure them out. And I'm not saying that like that's why when I said a couple weeks ago, when I said they're gonna need to do when they were 10-1, 9-1, I was like, they're gonna
you're
struggle in the
right. You were right.
playoffs. Like people are starting to figure them out. And I just think that it's almost like there's kind of the same thing with the Chiefs now, where it's like, are they figured out? Is it, you know what I mean? Like, is this
Mhm.
just a slump? I don't know. We'll see. I do think it's just a slump, but I still think that the Seahawks are going to beat the Eagles. So
Um, yeah, it definitely make things more interesting. I personally will you're gonna hate this. I will be an Eagles fan in this game because it would help the Rams a lot if the Rams won and the Seahawks lost. And the Eagles have already lost the last couple of games, and like I don't like to see a team pull away with it. So if the Eagles are still pulling away with it, undefeated and all this shit, then I'd be like, yeah, no, Rams, just hold on. I want the Seahawks to win this game. You win too, please. But uh, I'll take the Eagles in this game. I don't think I've rooted for them a single time in the last few years, but um, very sure Chris will be happy to hear that, and Bobby. But other than that, I think we are all wrapped up here. It's getting interesting. It's so entertaining to be looking at like the upcoming schedules for the teams. It's only like 3 more games. You can predict their records pretty pretty I don't want to say easily. I want to say like you know what I'm trying to say, right? Like this realistically, like we're like, all right, so realistically we can see what's gonna happen with these teams likely. Um, and it makes it so much more interesting because you got a team that's more on fire than one team, but has a much tougher schedule that could just not bode well for them. Like the Ravens, Jaguars, gonna be very interesting seeing who gets the 1 seed in both conferences, which I don't think it's been that way for a while. The Eagles definitely pulled away with it last year, and I'm pretty sure the Chiefs are pretty convincing at this point as well to win the conference. Both conferences are up for grabs, and it's wonderful. I mean, I think there's 3 teams in the NFC with a record of 10-3. Love it. Love it. Great football. But yeah, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, that's about it, man. That is about it
All
for me.
right, sounds good. Thank you guys for watching. We had an eventful early week, I guess, here. We had uploads on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We still have a lot of stuff that I put on the back burner to upload those things because those things were essence of time because they were for new things like GTA and a couple new songs that came out. So we do still have a lot of content we're sitting on. Obviously, I might just be saving those things for when we don't have football to talk about, but I will see if I ever feel like sitting down and hitting the upload button, we'll get some more content. So ring that bell for notifications, I guess. We'll probably be uploading next week's in the next few days as well, just because of how late we're uploading this week. So um be on the lookout for that in the next few days. And hope you enjoy the video. Talk to you soon.
Catch you on the next one.